spent in a miserable way.
U.S. News: Virginia Governor Northam defies calls to resign over racist photo. The New York by and Richmond, Virginia. U. Government Northam of "It was definitely not me," Mr. Northam said at an afternoon news conference. "I can tell by look," but within hours, 3 of the state's most senior Democrats said they had called Mr. Northam to tell him to step down, depriving the governor of his last remaining support and intensifying the pressure on him. "We no longer believe he can effectively serve as the governor of Virginia and that he must resign," Senators Mark R. Warner and Tim Kaine and Representative Robert C. Scott said in a statement.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.